Hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jan. I'm the Admissions and Registration Representative at Institute Global Specialist. So for today's info sessions, one of our instructors, Patrick Brennan, and my colleague Poco from admission teams, they will also join with me today to give you some insight about our programs. So for today's info sessions, we will begin with some general information such as admission requirements and fee structures. And after these brief informations, we will get into programs in detail. And toward the end, there's a Q&A section. We will be more than happy to answer your questions at that time. If you have any question to ask during our presentation, you can type it on the chat box, and my colleague Yulia Dimitri Scott from admission team, she will help answering your questions. So to give you a little bit of general information about who we are and our programs, the Institute of Global Specialists is owned by a nonprofit organization, Canadian Society of Immigration Specialists. Canadian Society of Immigration Consultants, which was the previous regulator of immigration consultant in Canada. We're right now located in St. John, New Brunswick. Currently, we do offer 7 programs and everything is 100% online. That will include your study material, lectures, assignments, and exams. Just to know that all the programs are designed using the Harvard Business School case study method of teaching, and all the programs are only offered in English. There are no, there's no language requirement to join, so you're welcome as long as you are comfortable studying English, then you should be good. And there's no age limit to join either. We do also accept international students. So international students pay the same rate as our Canadian students. As we provide fully online programs, you can technically study anywhere you are from the globe. In regards to time difference, you get to schedule your own study time. So as long as you are meeting the deadlines to submit your assignments, to complete your works, you should be good. Some students have questions about placement. Like most colleges and universities, we will offer career placement support to our students, such as help with writing resumes, identifying job opportunities, networks, improve your job interview skills, things like that. But it will be ultimately up to you to look for employment after completing this program. But we do provide the necessary help before you seek your career. I'd like to highlight something that's very unique and special about our instructors. They are people who have been working in the industry for over 20 or even more years on their field. And right now they are still actively involved in their specialized fields. So we carefully vetted each instructors and select highly qualified individual to design and teach all our programs. Therefore, you are not just learning about the theory from them, but you are actually learning about the real world experience. You are more than welcome to take advantage of that. So all the details and bios about our instructors are available on our website, globalspecialist.org. We do highly encourage you to check them out. The tuition fee for all IGS program is right now $533 per module for a limited time. We are expect to raise our fee in the near future, so we do encourage you to sign the program up if you're interested. Our payment plans are flexible. A student can pay on module by module basis. They are 6 to 9 modules depending on the program of your choice. And each module is about 4 to 5 weeks long. That means you are expect to pay 1 module per month. Also, if you are interested in only taking specific modules, instead of the whole program, you have the choice to take the module individually. For example, in our Canadian Immigration Law Specialist program, you can choose to take only the refugee module or economic class module if you wish. We do have schedule started on April 4th. Another thing to mention about is that we do also offer scholarship and financing. Please contact us for more information about that after our presentation. Now, I will be talking about each program in detail. I will be covering 3 programs and Paul will be go over the other 4 programs. To begin with, I will be talking about Canada Border Service Specialist Program. This program is designed and taught by former CBSA officers and experts who have over 15 years of experience in the field. This program will enable you with essential border services procedures and prepare you to become a capable professional in immigration, customs, import, export, or concerning border services. This program has 7 modules and it's 29 weeks long. And once you completed this program, you can seek employment with the public sector, such as CBSA, the Immigration Department of Canada, as well as the private sector. You could work with the company dealing with the cross-border regulation and processes, those importing, exporting companies such as Walmart, Costco, oil industry, or mining organization, etc. The next program I will be talking about is the Global Immigration Specialist Program. There are 6 modules in this program, and this program is 26 weeks long. This specific program will cover different global immigration paths through investment, such as purchasing property and business overseas. So you're going to learn about over 20 countries that offer these programs. Countries like Caribbean countries, some European countries, some East Asian countries as well. You will be able to identify the needs and risks for your clients that you can find the most efficient routes of immigration in a corporate context. All our GIS instructors have been practicing and providing information and giving advice globally for over 20 or even 30 years. So once you successfully complete this program, you will receive a diploma from us, which will qualify you to write an exam with the regulatory body, Global Society of Immigration Specialists. And you could work as a chartered global immigration specialist to provide service anywhere around the world. And then the next program I will be covering is the Global Education Specialist Program. Upon completion of this program, you could work as an international student agent for elementary, secondary schools, university, and colleges to receive commissions from them. And on the other hand, you could work as a consultant to help students and their family with the right admission process to the school of their choices. In this specific program, there are 8 modules included, and the total length is 38 weeks long. This program focuses on over 20 countries again. You could learn about different levels of education systems in countries like Canada, United States, in European countries, in New Zealand, Australia, and some East Asian countries as well. You will be learning about the immigration aspect, such as how to apply for study permit, visa for your students. You will also learn the different financial aids available for international students. Of course, you got to learn how to connect with the school so you could become a designated agent with them. And you could become you will be learn how to build a great relationship with your client as an education advisor. All our GES instructors are coming from different parts of the world with amazing backgrounds. They have over 20 years of experience in the field. Some are former admission officers and recruiters in some post-secondary institution. Some are expert in processing admission in K-12 educations. Together, we believe they can provide a comprehensive knowledge and on-field experience you need as a successful education advisor. So once you complete this entire program, similar to the Global Immigration Specialist Program, you will be able to write an exam with the regulatory body, Global College of Education Specialists, and you could work as a charter global education specialist to provide service anywhere you wish. Now, Paul will be covering the other 4 programs in details.
Thank you, Jen. My name is Poe, and I'm the Admissions and Student Affairs Representative at the Institute of Global Specialists. I'll now be going over the remaining 4 programs that we offer, beginning with the Foreign Service and International Development Specialist Program. Like all of our programs, the Foreign Service and International Development Specialist Program is completely online. There are 6 modules in the program, and it is 24 weeks long. The program will introduce students to the world of diplomacy in bilateral and multilateral settings. The program will examine real-world examples of diplomacy involving Canada and other countries, such as the relationship between Canada and the US. Students will develop essential diplomatic skills, such as intergovernmental negotiation and networking. And these diplomacy skills are not just specific to Canada. They are transferable skills for anyone who wishes to join a career in diplomacy anywhere in the world. The program will also cover how to manage international development projects and the effects of globalization, which are major priorities for NGOs and Global Affairs Canada. I'd also like to take a moment to highlight the amazing instructors in the program. Our instructors have 15 to 30 years of experience as foreign officers with the government or as development specialists. So they're very knowledgeable and well-connected in the industry. The next program that I'll cover today is the Canadian Immigration Law Specialist Program. This program is geared toward anyone who wishes to have an in-depth understanding of how to navigate the immigration system in Canada. Using the Harvard case study method of teaching, the program covers key aspects of Canadian immigration law and regulations. Please note that this program is not meant for those wishing to become a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, as that's regulated by the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. However, there are promising opportunities after taking our program, such as working for the Canadian government or for NGOs or at an existing consulting firm. The program is taught by immigration consultants who have decades of experience navigating the Canadian immigration system. There are 9 modules in the program and is 42 weeks long. This is the longest program that we offer, as it covers the complexities of Canada's immigration system. The program covers topics such as PR and citizenship, economic class, family class, temporary class, appeals, hearings, and detentions, as well as refugees. The next program that I'll talk about today is the Global Supply Chain Specialist Program. At a basic level, supply chain management involves acquiring goods or services to achieve your business goals. And in today's globalized world, supply chain management has never been more important. We've all heard about recent supply chain problems in the news. For example, delays in consumer goods was a major problem for many retailers. The Global Supply Chain Specialist Program consists of 7 modules and is 26 weeks long. The program will examine the supply chain process for the public sector, which includes all levels of government, and the private sector. You will learn how to navigate the complexities of the request for proposal process, known as RFPs, and how to negotiate contracts. The program will cover the supply chain landscape in various countries such as Canada, the US, and the UK. The instructors in our program have diverse backgrounds in the supply chain sector, including the fields of transportation, mining, healthcare, telecommunications, construction, and more. Our instructors have experience in both the private and the public sectors of supply chain management. The last program I'll talk about today is the Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Specialist Program. This program consists of 7 modules and is 28 weeks long. Our program will introduce students to the theoretical and practical applications of machine learning and data science. Through data analysis and visualization, students will learn how to use AI technologies to optimize their business. This program also includes live instructor lessons, so it's very hands-on. The program will cover Python, Jupyter Notebooks, and Google Colab. All of our instructors are leading experts with backgrounds in both data science and in business. So this means that they have the academic and the real-world experience to help students achieve their goals. The program is perfect for business professionals who work with any type of data and who wish to stay competitive by using the power of machine learning and data science. Finally, I'd like to highlight our free career placement support module. This free module is available to our students to help them transition seamlessly to a new job. This module helps students with networking, identifying career opportunities, resume building, and interviewing skills. Now, I'd like to introduce an instructor at IGS, Patrick Brennan. Patrick has decades of experience working in foreign affairs. He's a former diplomat who has worked with the Government of Canada and global institutions such as the UN agencies, World Bank, and the Inter-American Development Bank. He is currently teaching in our Foreign Service and International Development Specialist program. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thanks to everyone who is part of the event. Again, my name is Patrick Brennan, as Paul mentioned. I will be providing you with an overview today of the specific module that I'm going to be delivering as part of this course. But prior to that, I'd like to speak with you a little bit as well about my own career. And in addition to my own career, just that of others who I worked with and what I have seen that has been successful for them in terms of working in the area of international affairs. The area of international affairs, as you all know, is quite diverse. It has changed significantly over the years. Diplomacy in the early stages was often more at the state level. Of course, with the virtual reality that we all live and have specifically lived over the last 2 years, this has become a tool as well for diplomacy and specifically for international affairs. In my case, after completing my master's degree at the Norman Paterson School of International Affairs, I worked for 4 years as a consultant at the Canadian International Development Agency. I then worked for 2 years with the World Food Program, had the opportunity to continue with the United Nations and chose not to do so. I came back to Canada and worked from 1999 to 2005 with the Department of Foreign Affairs, and then with a number of other departments, as you can see on the screen. And what resonated with me in terms of working in this field of foreign affairs is that as professionals, you need to decide what realm you're going to focus on. And this is something that we cover in the module. So the module is not only the theoretical piece, it's also the practical piece. And a lot of emphasis during this is put on the practical piece in terms of what is it that you want to do with your career? Where are you to date in terms of your studies? Have you been strategic in terms of the studies that you've pursued? But also, we use the term networking, and a lot of people think that that happens naturally, and they think if they're part of Facebook events or things of that nature, or LinkedIn, which is a very good platform, that networking takes care of itself. And something that I really emphasized during my module is that it doesn't take care of itself. When you are interested in becoming a diplomat, or when you're looking for a job, as the old saying goes, finding a job is hard work. So you have to be very strategic. You need to be informed. You need to have a very clear idea of what realm of foreign affairs that you want to work in. Do you want to work in the development stream? Do you want to work on the commercial side? Which is often referred to as trade? Do you want to work in the political stream, consular stream? So again, these are all things that are covered either in my module or other modules of this course, but I'm a very big believer as well, that outside of the classroom, you as a professional need to be doing your work. So part of what I cover in this module is, are you part of professional associations that specifically examine international issues? Have you considered working abroad to get experience that will then position you for another job that you may want, either with a government or at the NGO level, or perhaps at the level of multilateral bodies, the United Nations or otherwise? Are you, for example, going to consulate and embassy events in, I'm sorry, in your hometown, which of course mostly have been virtual over the last number of years? Are you volunteering with associations that do work in this area? So I'm not going to go much further beyond that, but my point here is that you really do need to position yourself. So the module that I deliver, it's on the essentials of diplomacy, and examines the process and practice of diplomacy, providing in-depth hands-on professional training, but a very big emphasis on skill-based experiential learning. The world of diplomacy is about working with others. It's about working with other professionals. It's about working with other countries at the bilateral and multilateral level. So you need to be largely an extrovert. You need to be comfortable going to receptions. You need to be comfortable potentially representing your country or organization in the multilateral fora. These are all things that you, of course, will learn on the job, but these are things that you need to be comfortable with, that you will seek out, and that will be very rewarding in terms of a career. This module also, it offers a practitioner's view. It explores how diplomacy works in practice and the essential role of diplomats as the backbone of everyday international relations. When we see what's going on in the world right now, in the Ukraine, when we see what has happened for the last 2 years with the pandemic, when we see as well what's going on with climate change, diplomats are playing an essential role on all of these files. You know, we tend to focus on our own domestic issues, but internationally, these are issues that have been tackled and are being tackled on a day-to-day basis, the 3 that I just mentioned. This module also aims to guide professionals through the theoretical and practical building blocks of the contemporary practice of diplomacy, with a focus on gaining the essential knowledge, skills, and global outlook necessary to be effective modern-day diplomat. A way to gain some of those skills, if you're not already working in this field, is to partake in some of what I already mentioned in terms of being parts of professional associations. Also looking at potentially, volunteering, as I've already mentioned, because it's only when you volunteer and it's only when you work with others that you get a sense of the leading issues in this field at the time. This module will explore diplomacy from different vantage points: the history and evolution of diplomacy, diplomacy in theory and practice, the tools, principles, and practices of effective diplomacy, strategic diplomatic priorities, and the application of diplomacy in the bilateral and multilateral settings. I've touched on that already, but bilateral, of course, is, if you're working for a national government or possibly an NGO. Multilateral tends to be with the United Nations or other agencies. The module will familiarize students with the activities of a modern diplomat and the role of diplomacy in facing the global challenges of the 21st century, 3 of which I just mentioned. The module is also designed for professionals interested in the field of international relations, particular interest in foreign affairs, international organizations, multilateral corporations, and NGOs. So that's the module itself, but again, the practical side of this focuses heavily on the importance of networking and the work that you need to do as a professional outside of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. So now before we jump into the Q&A section, I'd like to take a quick moment to remind you all of our recent tuition change. So we've recently lowered our tuition by 40% to help our students. The tuition was previously $889 per module, and for a limited time, it is now $533 per module. As Jen mentioned earlier on in the presentation, this tuition rate of $533 may increase in the future, so we do strongly encourage you to apply before this change. We have monthly start dates, and the next start date is scheduled for April 4th. Okay, so now to conclude our info session, we would like to hear from you. If you have any questions regarding our programs, please feel free to ask right now by typing in the chat. Our instructor Patrick is here to help answer any questions, and of course, Jen and I are here as well. Looks like we have a question from earlier today. Someone's asking here about I'm a regulated immigration consultant with a few years of experience. I'm just wondering how your global immigration program will be helpful to me. My colleague Yulia did help address that question. I'll just go over that a little bit more. So if you're an existing immigration consultant, you are able to identify opportunities for people to come to Canada. Whereas our global immigration specialist program has a more global scope where you can help people identify global opportunities of investment and citizenship outside of Canada. So having those two having those two programs are actually an asset because they work well together, because you can understand the opportunities in Canada as well as globally. I hope that helps answer your question. Looks like we have another question here. Is IGS accredited by a provincial education ministry? So IGS is located in New Brunswick, although we are completely online. We are owned by the Canadian Society of Immigration Consultants, which has a designated institute, which is a designated education institute. So we have another question here. Is there a possibility to start in August or September? So yes, we typically have a start date about once a month at the beginning of the month. So the next start date is April 4th, but we should have a start date in August or September. However, as we mentioned, we do encourage people to apply as soon as they can because we do anticipate possibly increasing our tuition rate in the near future. Are there any other questions that we have today? Looks like we have another question here about individual country regulatory bodies. So if you do, that's a very specific question, and it depends on what kind of country it is in terms of regulation and what kind of things you're doing. If you have specific questions about that, we can help answer that outside that presentation if you have a specific country that you are referring to or a specific profession. We can address that outside this presentation. It looks like we have a question here, a direct question about the Foreign Service Program. Is the Foreign Service Program only available for Canadian citizens? What kind of job can I get from taking the Foreign Service Program if I'm not a Canadian PR or citizen? So that's a good question. Our programs are open to anyone in the world, so you don't have to be a PR or citizen to take our programs. As for the Foreign Service Program specifically, the program gives you the skills for you to work in a variety of jobs. For example, when you graduate from a program in places outside of Canada, like embassies, they hire people with different nationalities. So that's definitely something open to anyone. And in addition, our program, the Foreign Service International Development Specialist Program, as the name indicates, also covers international development projects, which means people can work for NGOs or global institutions outside of Canada. Patrick, did you want to perhaps add to that? Do you have anything that you want to add in regards to what kind of opportunities people can get globally if they're not Canadian citizen or PR?
Yeah, I think this really positions professionals well in terms of being locally engaged staff as well at different embassies or consulates. And I think it positions them well for the foreign service in their own country. But a lot of people tend to forget about the locally engaged staff, which all embassies and consulates around the world hire. So that to me is a very good area to consider.
Thank you, Patrick. It looks like we might have another question here about the Foreign Service Program. Are professional associations, organizations, consulate, and embassy events described in the modules? Patrick, do you want to maybe touch on that if your course covers that?
Yeah, we talk about that definitely. That's part of what we go through in terms of the work that needs to be done outside of the classroom, which is as important or potentially more important.
Thank you, Patrick. We have another question here. How many hours of study per week approximately? Jen, do you want to perhaps chime in about the level of commitment students will need for taking our programs?
Sure. So our students, they should expect to spend at least 10 to 20 hours per week. So basically, you don't have to log in during a certain hours, but you got to make sure that you have time, like for example, after work when you are available to study or complete your work. So make sure that you do have time, like 10 hours or to 20 hours per week to do your studies.
Thank you, Jen. We have a specific question here again from another participant, a question about regulatory bodies, and that's something we can't go into in detail right now, but we can definitely help address your questions outside that presentation. If there are any more questions regarding our general questions regarding our programs or specifically the Foreign Service Program? Looks like we have here another question about requirements. Is there a language test? So Jen, do you want to go over perhaps the language requirements or the application process?
Sure. So just to know that we don't have specific requirement to join. That means no age limit, no language requirement neither. So you don't have to submit any kind of language test, language proficiency text to prove that. So to apply to our program, all you have to do is go to our website, globalspecialist.org, and complete our application form. So upon during your application process, you will have to submit a copy of your resume. So other than that, you just have to tell us what kind of what programs that you are interested, and then you should be good to go. Of course, you have to submit 175 application fee to complete the whole application process. So once we receive your form, we will review and get back to you within 48 hours.
Thanks, Jen. Are there any further questions regarding our programs or specifically our Foreign Service Program? Looks like we have another question here. How many hours of online class per week? Jen, you just mentioned that earlier. Do you just want to repeat that just briefly?
Sure, yeah. We don't have specific times of hours that you have to do, that you have to log into the classes, no live sessions. So all you have to do is log into the course portal anytime that you are available to do your study. So all the study material will be available in either slides, pre-recorded videos, things like that. So you can technically do your studies anytime you want. Yeah.
Thanks, Jen. So it looks like that's all the time we have today. Before we wrap up today, we encourage you to check out our website and read about our instructors under the faculty section. We're very proud of our instructors, and they have been carefully chosen for their expertise and their real-world experience. In addition, we also have free demo modules available for each of our programs. So if you're interested in a specific program, you can explore the free demo module to see how the program works. To request access to a free demo module, submit a request on our website or email us directly. Our website is globalspecialist.org, and you can apply online for the April 4th start date. You can also email us at info@globalspecialist.org or call us at 1-888-228-4598. So thank you for your time, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.